As I was preparing for this speech, I had trouble thinking about what I strongly identified with. And as I was throwing ideas back and forth, I came to the conclusion that it was my creativity. Hello, my name is Noelle Rivera, and I'd like to talk about how my creativity can be found in my art as well as my love for storytelling. I feel like as a kid, I've always surrounded myself with the arts. It's something that has always intrigued me. I think it all started with an activity that we all partake in as kids. And what may that activity be? Well, obviously television. Television not only provides us with information, but a story as well. May it be a news coverage or a full-length movie. Television is always providing a source of entertainment. Why else do news anchors say, let's move on to the next story? For me, as a kid, it has always been cartoons. I felt an emotional connection with the tale that they provided. May it be the story of how Martha came to speak in the PBS kids show Martha Speaks about a talking dog, or a complex storyline such as Gravity Falls, following the crazy adventures of a pair of twins away from home. There are two key factors to take away from this early experience: the story being told, and one that I haven't discussed yet: the art presented in these stories. It's absolutely breathtaking. For example, the detail between each shot in Gravity Falls tells a much deeper story that has fans waiting for more. As a kid, I remember growing up and trying to decipher small details in each scene, putting one and two together to get a person obsessed with drawing and stories. And who may that person be? That's me, myself. I've grown up to appreciate every aspect of a film, show, or book. Sometimes it can be overwhelming. For example, earlier this year when Puss in Boots: The Last Wish came out, I went to see it in theaters, and I left starstruck. There was too much to comment on, and I feel that there were so many details that it felt overwhelming. The way that the scenes were animated and the soundtrack, and overall how the creators managed to create such emotion with such a simple storyline. Going into depth could be left for another speech. I think the same could be said about the most recent animated film, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. So growing up fascinated with these two aspects of art and storytelling has motivated me also to take part in the same path: using art to fabricate a story. Growing up, I was known as the art kid. I was always drawing on something, in class or at home. Whenever I had a paper I could always get my hands on, I would always draw something. Easily, I started off by copying other artists until I was able to build up a style of my own, testing what worked and didn't work. Along with that, throughout the years, I came up with various stories that inspired what I read or watched throughout my years. I created my own original characters, also known as OCs in the art community, and built them a universe full of characters, all with distinct backgrounds and ideas. For example, as of the pandemic, I came up with a storyline I like to call Project Capulet. It all started very similarly to how the classic Romeo and Juliet scenario happens, with two quarreling families and love interests from opposing sides. Yet as time progressed, I came to know my characters more. The storyline came to look entirely different. The story followed the main character, Cordelia Capulet, a senior in high school obsessed with theater, trying to achieve her dream to go to a performing arts school. That storyline is entirely different from the former. And putting these two together, art and story, I have been completely happy with the results, and something that has completely been my passion for so many years to come. I mean, years and for the years to come. So I really enjoyed sharing such a fun aspect of who I am, and hopefully you were able to learn a little bit more about me as well. So thank you for listening to my introduction.